to Future Gen Medical Manufacturing. Today we're inside the artificial heart valve factory to show you how cow tissue becomes a $50,000 life-saving implant.
In the notes. This facility operates under the strictest global standards for medical manufacturing. Every cubic foot
Before anyone touches a component, they undergo a rigorous decontamination process. Sterility is our first priority.
The journey begins at the raw material intake bay. Here, biology meets metallurgy.
Specialized containers arrive daily, maintained at exact temperatures to preserve tissue integrity.
We start with bovine pericardium, the tough, flexible sac surrounding a cow's heart. It is the gold standard for durability.
For the structural frame, we use grade 5 titanium. It offers the highest strength-to-weight ratio available.
Every piece of tissue is mapped for thickness. We need uniformity down to the micron. Nature has spent millions of years perfecting this structure. We are simply adapting it for human use.
Traceability is absolute. We can track this tissue back to the specific farm and animal it came from.
The tissue must be stabilized chemically to prevent rejection by the human body.
This tiny assembly of metal and tissue is the only thing standing between heart failure and a normal life.
It must open and close 40 million times a year. Failure is not an option.
This single component keeps 5,000 patients alive every single day. The responsibility here is immense. Every worker knows what is at stake.
We use a standard ISO 13485 compliant process involving glutaraldehyde. This cross-links the collagen fibers.
The fixation process takes several days. It turns perishable tissue into a durable, biocompatible material. Once fixed, the tissue is strong enough to be shaped. It is inspected again for any imperfections. Precision dies cut the leaflets. Even a microscopic ragged edge could cause blood clots. The leaflets are kept hydrated constantly. Drying out would damage the delicate collagen structure. We sort the leaflets by thickness variance. They must be matched perfectly to ensure symmetrical opening. Laser scanning provides a topographical map of the tissue. We select only the most uniform sections. 3 matched leaflets form one valve. They are like siblings, chosen to work in perfect harmony. The biological components are now ready, but they need a skeleton to hold them in place.
Meanwhile, in the machining wing, we prepare the titanium frame.
Metal machining happens in a separate isolation zone. We cannot risk metal dust near the biological tissue. The blueprints call for tolerances tighter than a human hair. Precision is the baseline here.
With the raw materials prepped and certified, the true manufacturing begins. We enter Act 2, Precision Manufacturing. A 5-axis CNC mill carves the valve frame from solid titanium. For the finest details, we use laser cutting. It slices through titanium without exerting physical pressure.
The frame is born rough. It must be refined to ensure it never damages the tissue it will hold.
Our machining process is where engineering meets sculpture. We remove everything that isn't the valve.
Every single frame is measured. We verify dimensions to within 1/10,000th of an inch.
Microscopes reveal what the eye misses. A single burr could tear the biological tissue later. Ultrasonic cleaning removes microscopic machining oil and debris. The titanium must be clinically pure.
This process ensures no foreign contaminants enter the next stage.
Only frames that pass every dimensional check move forward. The rest are recycled.
The cost of perfection is high. We scrap anything that isn't flawless. This geometry is complex. A single micron error here means a $200,000 scrap loss for the batch. But a $200,000 loss is better than one device failing in a patient. The machined frames now enter the surface treatment phase.
We also prepare the sewing ring. This polyester mesh allows the surgeon to suture the valve to the heart.
The fabric is hand-rolled. It serves as the anchor for the device within the body. Particulate control is critical. No loose fibers can remain on the mesh.
Back to the metal. We use electropolishing to smooth the surface at a molecular level.
This process removes ions from the surface. It creates a mirror finish that discourages blood clots. A thorough rinse cycle removes the electrolyte solution. The frames are now chemically inert.
The difference is visible. The polished frame is smoother than glass.
Some frames undergo plasma coating to further enhance biocompatibility. Look at the microscopic level. On the left, raw metal peaks and valleys. On the right, the electropolished surface. Bacteria have nowhere to hide here.
Surface integrity is confirmed. The frames are ready to meet the tissue.
Welcome to the assembly core. This is where manual craftsmanship takes over.
There are no robots here. Only highly trained hands can stitch the tissue to the frame.
Technicians train for months before they are allowed to touch a production valve.
The frame is mounted. It acts as the scaffold for the leaflets. The first leaflet is positioned. Alignment must be perfect to ensure a tight seal. Microsuturing requires steady hands and a calm heart. The stitches are microscopic. Over 1,000 stitches go into a single valve. Each one is a critical structural element. It takes hours to assemble just one unit. Speed is not the goal. Perfection is. The leaflets overlap slightly. This overlap creates the seal that prevents blood from flowing backward.
The sewing ring is attached last. This interface is where the device will bond with the patient's heart.
The final stitch is tied. The device is now a fully formed artificial heart valve.
This level of craftsmanship is rare in modern manufacturing. It is surgical level precision, done on a factory scale.
The result is a masterpiece of bioengineering. But it isn't ready for a patient yet.
It looks perfect, but looks can be deceiving. We need to prove it works.
The valves are returned to a preservative solution. They wait here for the most grueling tests imaginable. Every valve gets a unique serial number. It's a birth certificate for the device.
This room produces only a few dozen valves a day. Quality supersedes quantity, always.
Now begins Act 3, quality control and testing. We try to make the valve fail, so it won't fail in you. The testing lab simulates the human body. We replicate blood flow, pressure, and temperature. First, the leakage test. When closed, the valve must seal tight against back pressure. We apply back pressure. If a single drop leaks through, the valve is rejected. Next is the hydrodynamic performance test. We measure how easily blood flows through the open valve.
The pressure gradient must be low. The heart shouldn't have to work hard to push blood through our device.
Data points are collected and verified against FDA Class 3 requirements.
We use XRF analysis to confirm the metal composition one last time. No unexpected elements are allowed. Random samples undergo bioburden testing. We ensure the manufacturing process introduced no bacteria.
ISO 10993 testing confirms biocompatibility. The body must accept this object as its own.
For long-term reliability, we go to the accelerated wear testers. These machines cycle the valves at 1,000 beats per minute, much faster than a human heart. We simulate 10 years of wear in just a few months. We watch for any sign of fatigue.
The pulse duplicator tests near-failure conditions. Can it handle high blood pressure?
We analyze the kinematics frame by frame. Asymmetry leads to turbulence, which leads to clotting. After millions of cycles, the valve is inspected again. It must look as good as new. The paperwork is as heavy as the product. Regulatory compliance is exhaustive. External auditors frequently verify our processes. We operate under a glass ceiling of scrutiny. The final gatekeeper is the senior inspector. Their signature releases the valve for packaging. This object is ready. It has survived the gauntlet of manufacturing and testing.
The batch is approved. It moves to the final stage, sterilization and packling.
Even at the final step, we are ruthless. If in doubt, throw it out. A passed valve is a promise kept to a patient. We do not break promises. The survivors of our testing regime proceed to the packaging cleanroom. Packaging is not an afterthought. It is a sterile barrier system essential for safety. The valve is suspended in a liquid sterilant inside a jar. It floats, protected from shock.
The packaging ensures the device remains sterile for years on a hospital shelf, ready for an emergency.
The jar is hermetically sealed. Once closed, nothing gets in or out until surgery day. Protective foam and extensive documentation accompany the jar. It is a complete surgical kit.
The UDI code allows hospitals to scan and log the implant instantly.
Temperature loggers travel with the shipment. We monitor the climate conditions globally.
From this factory, these crates travel to hospitals in over 100 countries. A valve made here on Monday could be saving a life in Tokyo or London by Friday.
Inside this box is a second chance at life. It costs $50,000, but the value is infinite.
Behind the technology are people who care deeply about the outcome.
We receive letters from patients every week. Grandparents who met their grandchildren.
Hikers, runners, parents. They are walking around with our work inside their chests.
The factory never truly sleeps. The demand for life-saving devices never stops.
We hope you enjoyed this look inside future-gen medical manufacturing.
If you are fascinated by the intersection of biology and engineering, you are in the right place.
Join us next time as we explore more miracles of modern manufacturing.
Innovation is the heartbeat of our future. From cow tissue to high-tech implant, this is the art of saving lives.
See you in the next episode.